Yo, what's going on? What's going on? St. Nicholas Brand. How's everybody doing? Hopefully great. I decided to make another video, and it's not too far off. I just made one not too long ago, but something came to mind. Like I told you guys, I walked into a hobby space, that being cards. And those specific cards are called One Piece. So if you haven't heard of it, it's an amazing show. It's an animation show, Japanese animation show. And it portrays so many life examples that you could possibly get out of an animation, right? So, One Piece is, the animation construct that shows people that, you should fight for your freedom. You should set a journey to go and fight for your freedom, because a lot of people think that they're free and they're really not. Just because you may have a decent job, and you may make, 6 figures. Some people may make outside of a job with a business 7 to 8, and maybe even 9 figures, that you're free, right? And that's wrong. You may be free up to a certain extent, right? You may be free from a point of having to work for somebody. Maybe you are a business owner and you work for yourself. And then you got people that generally just always work for somebody, like the 98% of the world, right? And the thing about it is that you're not necessarily free. If you find yourself having to wake up every single day and utilize the time the way someone else wants you to utilize the time, other than yourself structuring a day-to-day plan, then you're not free, right? People say, oh, if I make a lot of money, man, I'm successful, I'm this, I'm that. Nah, it's not what it even means. It's not what it means, and it's not what it seems. A lot of people sell their souls for the paper note, the cotton, the linen. That's the dollar bill. They sell their souls for that, right? And I want you to check this out real quick. Never mind. I'll put this right back. Never mind. I was gonna show you guys like a picture of George Washington on a bus stop picture frame, and he's doing like this, like with his eyes, like, looking real crazy, right? And that's how people are, man. They look real crazy like that, going for the dollar every single day. And basically what I was saying is that, you're not necessarily, free just because you have money or you're, in a money position. I think it's more commendable for people that have more freedom, right? People that live life on their own terms, enjoying life on their own terms. They structure their day-to-day no matter what, and they don't have to sell their soul in order to be in that position. Like, they found a way to do it without having to fuck someone over. You know what I'm saying? And I always refer back to the One Piece, the One Piece animation, because that's kind of how the characters are. That role, what they call the Straw Hat Gang, the Straw Hat Crew. That's the main character, Luffy's crew. That's how they roll, right? They go from destination to destination, and they structure their own day to day, right? But they go on these different adventures and they run into different people that find themselves trying to fight for their own freedom, that find themselves in a position that they got to fight for every single thing. And a lot of our cultures can relate to that. And that's why it's such a big program, right? It's better than Dragon Ball Z's. It's better than the Dragon Ball Z's of the world, right? It's better than the Simpsons. What else is there? You know what I'm saying? It's better than stuff on the Disney Channel, because those are all cliche types of animations, right? Those are all cliche types of animations. And it's all about being able to live your life how you want to live it. You know what I'm saying? If you want to wake up one day and just do fucking nothing, you should just be able to do that, because it's your life. But I'm saying that as a fact that if you do wake up and do nothing, that has a cost. If you're in the US, and if you're in a big market like my market, California, if you wake up and do nothing, that's gonna cost you, man. That if you do that, that could put you in such a bad position within the next, few weeks or months. That could fuck you up. You could find yourself living in a box or something if you take too many days off doing nothing here. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's about the ability to be able to live life on your terms, because you're not free if you have to be interconnected into something that you did not choose, that you did not want to do, but you figure you have to do it in order for you to survive. You guys get what I'm saying? And it's very commendable, like I said, for people that have done that. It's only one person that I've seen personally, and this person is on YouTube, that actually, has done what I'm talking about. I don't really know him, that close or that on a personal level like that, but on the outside looking in, it's pretty damn fresh. It's cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're far out in a different country, you're to yourself, you have a peace of mind, you're not around a bunch of cars honking, a bunch of buildings, a bunch of people yelling, and bad weather, you having to hustle and bustle going to bus stops and all this, this, that, and the third for you to get to point A to point B. Nah, it wasn't like that. This guy is like on his own time, man. He said in one of his videos that if we're over here in the States, we have to go by the time set on our clocks, on our watches, and we have to go by that, else we'll be screwed up. And he's correct, because everything is a set time over here, a Roman created time. And if we don't follow this specific time, then we would find ourselves disconnected from our day to day. But if you are out and about in a different place, in a different time, and you live life on your own terms, you didn't have to worry about, this job, that job, hustling, bustling, to do this and that, then yeah, you wouldn't have to rely on this time, because you would be on what they call a circadian rhythm, right? And I don't want to get too deep, because, man, I could get real deep, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, you would be on a circadian rhythm, meaning that your body, like when you go to sleep, you don't have to wake up to an alarm clock. On a circadian rhythm, your body functions and wakes up based on the atmosphere, the environment that is in, and solely that. It has nothing to do with a fucking alarm clock. People have a fucking alarm clock is because they have to scare themselves in to getting up in order to go to a place that they must be at. When you're living off of a circadian rhythm, which is a beautiful example of living on your own time, that just doesn't happen. Your body functions how it wants to function. Your mind functions how it wants to function. It does not function because if someone else gives you a consequence, then you got to do it or else. That's what I'm trying to, that's the point that I'm trying to make. So just to refer that back, man, that's, you know, that's why I really rock with this animation, you know what I'm saying? Because to me, it has more relatability to everyday life than any shit, even reality shows or programs with human beings in it has never been this relatable. Even like, you know, shows like, you know, drug dealing shows and stuff like that. We all know about, you know, that drug dealing and all of that, but the way they portray it out to be, it doesn't really happen just like that. There's different caveats, you know what I'm saying? But just to be, you know, 100%, you know, keep it a buck with you guys, man. That's what it's about. It's about living your life day to day, how you want to structure it, how you feel that you need to be about your own life. You should not have to be living in consequence. You should not have to be living in fear. You should not have to be worried about if you can make this bill, if you can make that bill, because that's not freedom. That's not freedom. And if anybody ever told you that was, and you're lucky and you're grateful, you're more grateful than the next person that does, fuck them. They don't know what they're talking about. Freedom is living life on your terms. Freedom is moving day to day how you want to do it. That's all I got for you guys, man. I appreciate you guys that continue to rock with me. All my older subscribers, all my newer subscribers, new viewers. You can always count on me to keep it a buck. Okay, so remember, the truth is in session. Peace.